What?
I was just going to say, Marcus, just take it until we get to the where farting's.
Or I'll just do, he's been listening to the cast so long, and then somebody else do 80-something hours long, and then we can all jump in on that line that nobody knows.
He knows every joke in the dirty minds of the nerd boys.
Something like that, yeah.
Let's just all sing it.
Yeah.
Oh, hell.
We will all be embarrassed
It doesn't
together.
matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's supposed to be dumb. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's just thanking him.
Exactly.
And giving him what he wanted, his own soundbite.
It's for one person. He'll love it.
Yeah.
I just wanted him to be able to understand what you said.
Me too.
Oh, he'll get it. We'll send him the lyrics.
Okay, that'll work.
He's been listening to the cast so long, 80-something hours long. He knows every joke in the dirty minds of the nerd boys. Where farting's the name of the game, and the great boys get carried away by the vines of their brains. There's been a load of theorizing, and we know his star is rising, and that he's gonna be our friend eternally, 'cause he's the Grapevine Cowboy, riding out on a limb for a shitty little nerdy show. He's the Grapevine Cowboy, getting mugs and stickers and wearing us on his clothes and repping us at his shows.
Hey everybody, I'm Dane Holland, and last week I said I wanted to have a shell of a good time, and this time I mean it.
I'm Austin Shazam Pfeiffer, and Jerry Springer is evolving?
I'm Marcus, the grandchild. Known as I'm Electric Man.
I'm Austin Tiny Zent, and this is the future.
We are the future at Nerd It Through the Grapevine, a podcast where four best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture.
Don't ever do that voice again. It kind of freaked me out.
Which one?
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
That's just what I'm going to sound like in 300 years.
Ooh, gross.
If I had never heard Elon Musk like if I'd only seen pictures of the man, I would assume that's what he sounds like. But
Yeah,
no,
it'd be pretty close.
can we replace that?
Yes.
Dubs by Detour.
Yes. So we're talking about posterity today, gentlemen. And, you know, this podcast is for posterity, but so are monuments. I'm sure we all know what the Georgia Guidestones are.
They lead you to Atlanta from New York if you follow them by foot.
Well, no. I mean, they are.
I followed the wrong Guidestones to Georgia then.
Yes. Well, I mean, they are about 50 miles outside of Atlanta. It is a set of granite monuments that were erected in the 80s in Elbert County, Georgia. No one knows who paid to have these things put there. They are larger than Stonehenge, and they are often referred to as America's Stonehenge. On the stones in about 10 different languages, both current and ancient languages, are written 10 more or less commandments. There is a signature of R.C. Christian at the bottom of them, which is definitely not a real person. It is a pseudonym.
Is that Jesus' brother?
No.
The lesser-known brother?
I mean,
that's
no,
Jacob.
you could probably say like grandson, maybe.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, there are 10 commandments written on there about different things. They have been known to be, you know, I'm not saying that they're necessarily bad, but controversial. That's the word I was searching for. They've known to be controversial.
Let me hear them.
Okay,
Marcus
I knew
hears that.
somebody would
Yeah.
ask.
It's like
I
catfish
have
to
that on
stink
another
bait.
tab.
Yeah, I need to grade these commandments.
Okay.
How many of these am I going to follow?
Well, the first one it says maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 2, guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity.
Nice.
3, unite humanity with a living new language. 4, rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason.
Beautiful.
5 is to protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts.
Yeah.
6, let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. 7, avoid petty laws and useless officials. 8, balance personal rights with social duties. 9, prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. And 10, be not a cancer on the earth, leave room for nature, leave room for nature.
Beautiful.
All right. Honestly, I agree with all of them.
I
Except
dig
for,
'em.
like, what was the one about the new language?
Of
Like a
course.
universal
Number
way to...
3, unite humanity with a living new language.
You see, what they don't realize is that all you got to do is just say you need a podcast recommendation on Twitter, and we found it. We found the instant way that everybody connects all together at the same time.
That's the universal language.
Yes, I need a podcast recommendation.
Well, the one thing that's the highly debated one is the first one, to maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Our human population is in the several billions at this point.
Oh, so it's saying keep your population under.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
entire world population
Ooh.
under 500 million.
Yeah.
Oh, that's extremely controversial.
Yeah.
Not
The
if you're
rest of it, I'm kind of on board with. That one, I'm like, ugh.
If you're a
Yeah.
Thanos fan, then I
Yeah.
mean you're all in.
Yeah, but that's not even my topic.
Oh,
My topic is it's kind of leading us in. I've had this weird fascination with the Georgia Guidestones here lately and other monuments and things. Anyway, so the topic is, if we were to erect a large monument to leave for posterity, what would we inscribe on we'll just call it the Tennessee Guidestones?
A penis.
oh no. It would,
Well, I mean, obviously,
it would be
a penis would be on the capstone.
obviously.
And later on, they would refer to it as the double grape.
Absolutely.
Because
No, but
everybody
for real
knows
though,
it's just
for
two
real though, for real
circles.
though.
Yeah.
We had
Real-
to say that for
Yeah.
that section of our audience.
Wait.
Two circles and a horseshoe.
all of this in a non-sexual manner, correct?
Oh,
a
yeah.
giant erect
Well-
statue of a penis,
We'll
but
see.
in a
I
non-sexual
think
manner.
I think the first commandment would be this was in a non-sexual manner.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think you're
So
right.
yeah. So what would our other 9 commandments be?
What was the first one? I forgot.
Don't take this in a weird way.
Don't take this in a sexual manner.
Okay. Yeah. Thou shalt not.
Thou
Thou
shalt
shalt
not
not.
take this in a sexual manner. Number 2, if thou doest, consume thou a satchel of Richards. So there's 2 of them knocked out.
Number 3.
Thou shalt not trust a fart.
Yes. Thou shalt not trust a fart winced over 30.
Thou shalt not condemn thy booger corner.
Yes.
No, I'm
Yes,
not on board for
Thou
that.
shalt not.
I guess we need a controversial one,
Thank
and
you.
that'll be it.
Exactly.
Thou shalt
I
not.
don't know.
I don't like that one, no.
So wait, what was that
We're
one
not
again?
having a booger corner on this monument, though.
There's
no
a booger
corner.
corner built into the monument, Tiny.
No.
Yes, there is.
It's a cylinder.
Oh, no. That means there'll be just a booger spot.
I'm
Just
okay.
pile them all on top of each other.
I'm okay with a hole in the center that leads into the earth and it being a booger hole.
Oh, great. So it can be even more phallus-like. This is great.
How about thou shalt not already have fame and create a podcast?
I mean, we're not famous.
No, no,
I don't
no.
think.
No, no. I'm saying
Are
like
we? Are
famous
we famous?
people shouldn't
No.
make them because they're already famous.
Oh,
you've already
yes.
got it. It's
Yes.
already yours.
Okay, yes, I'm on board
Don't
with that.
take this
Yeah, so we're up
This
to
is
what, 4 now?
for everybody else.
Yeah, I'm good. I love that one now.
Yeah.
Now that I understand it.
Yeah. They'll know our priorities pretty quickly.
Thou shalt not call it chili when it's just sauce.
Yeah, chili got to have beans in it, bruh.
It's got to have some.
What's with this weird beanless chili that consists of meat and red goo?
It's a Cincinnati chili.
Cincinnati chili is just red goo, right? Does it even have?
Well,
It's kinda
Cincinnati
like
chili's also got spaghetti noodles with it.
It's also
What?
Chili on your nudes.
Yeah, so their chili up there. It's got it's got cocoa powder and cinnamon in it. It's crazy.
I mean, my chili's got cocoa powder and cinnamon in it.
But your chili has consistency.
Yeah,
it's
mine's
not
got
just
beans and onions and chunkies.
Their consistency comes from what they put with their chili, which is just chili sauce. It's really meat based too. It's so dense and it's weird. It's that's mine though for now.
Okay.
Can you restate that again so we remember?
Thou shalt not call it chili when it's just sauce.
Okay. That's number 5.
Oh.
I think bidets must be mandatory.
Yes.
I think thou shalt sprayeth thine ass with pleasure jet. Well, is it pleasurable? The feeling
Not at
afterward
first.
is no, not at first. At first it's not, but
The first time it's very bracing.
afterward, yeah. I still think calling it the pleasure jet is a really good way to get people
Thou
on board.
must sprayeth thy bungus upon expulsion with pleasure jet.
Exactly.
Okay, so there's 6.
Everybody's perfectly fine with getting in a hot tub or a swimming pool and putting their bungus up against the water thing that squirts out. But then as
Yeah.
soon as you say bidet, they go, ooh, I ain't into that.
I know, and when I used to shit in the swimming pool and I would get my butthole sprayed off by those little jets, everybody would just look at me like, I can't keep it together.
Am I the only one that thinks when I'm in a pool with many people that I don't know, I'm like, how many of these people don't know how to wipe their ass properly?
I was always wondering, like, how many are also peeing right now?
Well, I mean, everybody always
of them.
pees in a pool all the time.
them.
Are we all peeing together?
Actually,
if
right now,
there
in
are
these chairs.
There are 2 kinds of people in this world who don't pee in pools. Okay, hold on. Let me restate that because I messed that up. There are 2 kinds of people in this world. 1 is people that pee in pools, and 2, liars.
I've heard that about showers, and yet I'm not a shower peeper.
Marcus
How do
is
you not pee in the
Marcus is a
shower?
devout shower peer.
Devout.
It is the thing about it
There's
is
no place I won't pee, to be honest with you. I mean, it's really
Nice.
easy to clean.
and here's the thing. I get the absolute need to pee in the shower because it feels like a natural thing that's happening. I get it. Like it's just going right down the drain.
I mean, sometimes I pee in the shower and don't even know I'm peeing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I look down, I'm like, there is water coming from me too.
Haven't even turned the shower
Yeah,
head
just
on
like
yet.
a constant flow.
Thou shall yuck no yums.
Yes,
Yes,
there we go.
There
Love
we go.
it.
That's number 7.
I don't know about none.
Well,
What are we up to?
I
8
don't
now?
know, man. Do we
I
have
don't
8?
know. What about just like be good to children? I don't know. A boring one like that.
We do need one
Yeah.
that's just straight
Yeah,
up.
like number
that,
9.
yeah.
Don't do bad things to kids, like Marcus said.
Thou shalt
Yeah.
not make any more songs with the millennial whoop in it.
I don't even know what that is.
What's a millennial whoop?
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
But isn't that technically?
You know, you hear it all in all new music. They're just
Marcus!
Marcus,
stop.
I mean, that's somebody's yum, though.
You were just
it's terrible.
You're
just-
already breaking commandments.
You spanned 3 decades of music just then. One of them was New Kids on the Block. You did. That's a long
Just
time
Google
ago.
the millennial whoop.
I do know what you mean, though.
Yeah,
I do know
Google
what
it.
you
It's a
mean.
thing. It's a
Yeah,
thing.
It is.
Google that.
Google it, and don't do that on just any search bar, though.
Yeah, do it on YouTube. There's cool videos about it.
So no millennial whoop.
Yeah.
Well, that's a yuck and a yum, though.
No,
No,
just
that
don't
doesn't
make any
count.
more. There's plenty out there for them to
Yeah.
get their fill of
What
it.
if they
you
want a
can still
whole
listen
song
to
of just that?
Then listen to the radio.
Who listens to the radio
Exactly,
anymore? I thought
exactly.
it's all just like podcasts and audiobooks now.
That's all it should be.
That's all it should be, yeah.
Well, should we make it a commandment? This will take care of the millennial whoop.
There, yeah.
Because you have to seek it out in order to get it. It's not over the radio and over Walmart speakers. And
Thou
things like
must
that.
only seeketh the millennial whoop. Does that work?
That makes me feel like I have to.
Yeah.
I really don't want to be made to seek it out.
Plus, if you tell people not to do something, they end up
They
doing it
kinda
anyway.
want to.
Truth.
Yeah.
And
Forbidden fruit.
yeah, they're just ignoring the rules of the grapestones.
See above for the 10th.
I mean, I guess that'll work.
That way it's just repeat the rest of it infinitely.
Yeah, and we need it in all different kinds of languages.
Yes.
Some ancient, some modern.
Around the very top
One that
ring,
people don't know yet.
around the very top ring before you get into the hole, there needs to be one final statement though that is seared into the very tip.
When life gives you grapes.
Well, I mean, there is an auxiliary stone that's kind of telling you the purpose of the stones on the Georgia Guidestones, so that does seem to fit.
Yeah, and also down the middle of the shaft, you can have secret encodings that
An
only,
alien language.
like stuff that only we know what it means. Like that looks like some kind of a picture of a bird.
I don't want to
Birds
host this
aren't
show
real.
no more.
That's what it means.
Birds aren't real. Should we do it in
Exactly.
marble so it's veiny?
Oh,
Since we're
yes.
basing it on the shape that we're basing it on.
yeah, purple marble
Is that a
Nice.
thing?
can be
Can we-
Amethyst?
The Charlie stone.
Is amethyst?
the Charlie stone.
Jade.
Is jade purple? No, jade is
Jade's
green.
green.
Is
That sounds infected.
is amethyst purple?
Maybe.
Sapphire.
It sounds like it.
Sapphire's blue.
Sapphire's blue.
A giant
I think
amethyst.
amethyst is purple. Let's say amethyst.
You might be right.
I'm not sure.
That's such a cool word.
A giant amethyst monument
Yeah.
erected for grapevine lore with the 10 commandments of grapevinedom.
Yes.
Fantastic.
We're gonna have haters, and they're gonna
I mean,
spray paint
obviously.
on it, and
That's
don't
why
know
we
how
have the
we're gonna
backyard
handle it.
bonanza.
Well,
They
yeah.
can take care of them.
We need that one
We have our own
old
army.
We need that one old curmudgeonly guy in the bonanza whose sole purpose is to keep kids off the lawn around the stones and to keep them clean and
To keep the millennial whoop
them good.
out of their throats.
yeah, like he just like throat chops anybody that tries to do it. Some people will read and go, "Oh, I'm gonna do that," and as soon as they start, he comes out like a ninja from nowhere.
Marcus, you're ahead of that department.
Yeah.
For sure. I think this needs to be created.
Yeah,
At least 3D printed.
Yeah, which I do have the means,
absolutely.
as do you. We can make this. Where are we going to erect it?
Gross.
We could do it in the backyard. I'm sure.
Well.
That's what you always say.
Okay. Yes, it'll be at the backyard of the grape sack.
Yes, and it will bring people in. We'll have tourists. We'll
Only
charge them-
Patreon members may
Yes,
come.
we'll charge people to see it, and then we have big parties in our backyard bonanza robes.
We'll dance around it.
dance around it, maybe nude.
Has to be
or
somewhere where
maybe
the sun, like when it
getting nude.
sets, will be right at the tip.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
At high noon,
Yeah.
there is no shadow.
Yes.
Or the shadow that's cast looks suspiciously like a wiener.
Or just make it like a what do they call them? Like a shadow clock.
Sundial?
Sundial, yeah.
Can there be a magnificently reflective piece at the very bottom of the shaft that if the sun hits it at just the right angle, it'll shine a light right out of the center? Like
A beam to the heavens.
I thought that was a given. I thought that was a given.
First contact will happen in our backyard.
Nice.
We just saw this sweet ass wiener, man. We just wanted to come see it.
It was purple and veiny, and it had some really cool stuff engraved on
like
the
when
sides.
We don't care about your leader. We just want to hang out here.
like take me to your wiener, bro.
People always think we're saying leader when we're just saying wiener. So weird.
Okay. So let's keep all the wiener talk out of this.
It's
one.
gone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
insert
has
it.
anyone ever heard the name Shirley Curry?
No.
It tastes spicy.
Yeah, it sounds delicious.
Yeah, I bet it.
This
I bet
is
it
a human.
delicious.
Oh, well,
Not on the menu. Has anyone ever heard of Skyrim Grandma?
yes, I have.
No.
Is
Nice.
that her name?
Shirley Curry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She's one of the oldest streamers in the world at 85 years old, and she primarily streams Skyrim gameplay. And I don't know, like I just it's someone I've recently found on the internet because of a story that we'll get to at the end of my topic. But I don't know. I think her appeal is that she's just like a real person who just happens to be streaming her Skyrim, which how that happened we'll get to as well. But I don't know. It's just like, you know, a lot of YouTubers are gimmicky, or, you know, they have all these catchphrases, the like and subscribe and hit the notification bell and all these thumbnails that are out of, you know, crazy looking. And it's just none of that. You know, she's an 85-year-old woman. She's literally just playing Skyrim.
I have one question so
Yes.
far.
Go ahead, please.
Don't.
Is she hot? I have to ask. I feel like I'm required to ask.
I knew I shouldn't have done this topic. I should have never stained this beautiful woman's name.
No, I'm going to check. I'm going to check her out because that's
I'd say
awesome.
that's for
just
you
so
to
far.
decide, Tiny. I will not yuck your yum, but whatever. I
There we
don't
go.
look at her that way. I feel like more of her grandson, and so I do feel kind of protective over
Her
her.
gamer
Hey,
grandson.
some grandmas
Yeah.
are hot. That's all I'm saying. I've seen some.
She's 85, Tiny. Anyway,
that
she's
doesn't matter. Age is just a number.
I don't know. She's just a sweet old lady who just loves Skyrim. She started a YouTube channel in 2007 to kind of just watch gameplay and stuff like that, and just kind of leave comments on channels that she liked and stuff like that. And she was just super nice, and people kind of just began subscribing to her because of how, you know, the friendship struck up in YouTube comments.
That's rare within itself.
Right. Well, this is 2007, so.
Much different time on the internet.
Exactly. And so that's how she kind of got her initial maybe 200 or so subscribers. And they, you know, so we'll get back to that later. But basically, she wanted a new computer to store her recipes and to organize them by protein and by spice and all this because she's a grandma.
Heck yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
typical grandma thing. She wants to do that. And so her son gives her his old one. And it just happens to have Civilization 2 installed on it. And so I guess she's just bored on the computer one night and she clicks it, and that was her first game. And she kind of played it and enjoyed it. And she kind of had to like rebalance her life with like this drive to always just want to play at an old age, but yet she's used to doing all this other stuff. So like, even when she's trying to go to bed, she just wants to play Civilization and stuff. And then I guess throughout the years, her son sent her Skyrim videos because he just thought that she would like it, and she fell in love with Skyrim. And so on her YouTube, subscribers just kept begging her to like send us some gameplay. Like, we want to see you play Skyrim. And so she did. And she, you know, because she was just like, why not? You know, why not? What's stopping me from doing it? And so she goes to bed that night and then wakes up the next morning, and her subscribers have exploded. Somebody posted on Reddit, and she kind of just goes viral. And that's how we get the Skyrim grandma.
That's awesome.
I know, it was just, I don't know.
That is awesome. What's the name of her YouTube channel?
Shirley Curry is her
I'm
name.
subscribing right now.
I mean, honestly, it is kind of one of those things that you have to see to just see how wholesome it is. Like lately I've been just like getting up in the morning, and you know, sometimes I'll do an audiobook, but if I'm just like kind of a little bit more groggy or just need more time to wake up, I'll just sit there and listen to her like just walk around Skyrim and do it the way she does it. Because she has like, you know, she kind of role plays like all of her characters. Like, she doesn't do the main quests. She does some quests, but it's all about the character, and it's all about what she wants to explore in Skyrim.
I bet she has a garden.
We're getting to that. We will get to that.
Just based on what you said, to me, she seems like one of those people that plays GTA 5 and tries to obey all the traffic laws and everything.
Yes.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. That would have been interesting to see her play that.
This is once you've played a game for so long, you start to, because I'm wondering if when she first started, maybe she just played it, you know, the regular way you do it, and you play it for so many hours, it's like, how else can I enjoy this? And the role play, that's what I ended up doing. I would make so many characters and role play each of them, and it makes it a totally different experience. It's
Right.
a lot of fun.
Exactly. So on Reddit, when they posted it to Reddit, that's where she got all the attention. That's where the people first started saying she's like the Bob Ross of gamers. And I just thought that was cool because we've talked about Bob Ross before.
Oh, yeah.
And so you would think, you know, she's 85 and she's tech savvy. That's cool. But no, she's not. She needs help. She has to have her son help her. He's got like Team Viewer. And so if she has a problem with her computer or forgets how to do this or that, he can just kind of log into her computer from his house and fix it for her. And this is the part of my notes where we get to like her role playing. Like she does play in a much different style than you would see these other Twitch streamers and stuff play. You know, they're trying to go get the Daedric armor. They're trying to, you know, level their sword up all the way and get the coolest, best, awesomest stuff in the game, right? But she just has a much more relaxed play style, almost like she's living a novel in a sense, rather than playing an action game or whatever. she writes her own stories based on her game experience, which I thought was really cool. And there's videos of her reading chapters of her writing as well.
Wow. If she published that, like that would...
I think she might. I don't know. I like I said, this is all kind of new to me.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely want to look more into that. I did hear one of her videos of her reading through a piece of her writing based on her gameplay.
That's cool.
Yeah, and she's got this big Skyrim poster behind her on her wall. People send her stuff all the time, like little stuffed Skyrim characters and things like that. And she's always just like does these unboxings. Like, look, isn't that cute? I don't know. She's just, she's just so awesome.
She's what all of YouTube should be.
Honestly, but she does exist on the toxic internet,
Right.
and so there has been some headlines that I looked up that were like, "Oh, people are giving her a hard time," and
How dare they?
I saw
know.
her. I saw
That's
her
an 85-year-old sweet woman.
exactly
Why?
her
because
response.
it's the internet.
She did have response to that too, to where she was like, "Hey, like no, like almost all of the people that follow me and watch me and stuff, they are very friendly." She's like, she doesn't want anyone to think to be pushed away, really,
Yeah.
to think like if you come here, like it's going to be toxic. But
Yeah.
but she kind of refuted a bunch of that, saying like, no, like I enjoy everybody that
Right,
that
like it
reacts
could have
with
just
me,
been like
so.
people trying to start a story online.
Exactly,
They're
yeah.
trying to start an internet war.
trying to
that
ruin
happens.
something
Clickbait.
pure.
Exactly, so pure. Like that's the thing. This is just so pure to me, in my opinion. But she
She has 995,000.
dude, she's almost got 1 million subscribers. So she writes stories based on her gameplay. She's never beat the main story. She just says she just prefers her own. She just like, people are like, why do you not like the narrative that they've put in the game? And she's like, I just like my own stuff better. And I
Yeah.
just think that's really cool too.
It's awesome.
So before she got into Skyrim, she liked quilting and reading, and she worked at Kmart and retired in 1991. She likes hiking. So I guess the article I pulled this out of kind of made this connection between her. The way she likes to enjoy hiking is a very similar way she likes to enjoy Skyrim, because she doesn't go for the main quest. It's all about the journey for her.
Right.
It's basically what they were trying to say. I think it was like a Looper article, funny enough. I know, it's so weird. I think that's the only Looper article I've ever read. So a lot of people have written her and have said that she's helped them battle depression and mental illness, and even in some cases suicidal thoughts and stuff, and that her videos just relaxed their anxiety. And I don't know, and they're just so a lot of her fans are feel this really deep love for her, I think. And you can see why if you just watch some of her videos.
What's great is all this is unintentional. All she wanted to do is just put
She
it up
never
there.
meant to get a million
no.
subscribers.
The episode says Skyrim Eps 1 Catamet.
It's one of her characters, I believe.
2.3 million views on that video alone.
It's awesome.
So, like I said, one of her big, what she would say is a big motivator for her to keep it going is because that she feels like a lot of people, she helps them with their issues and things like that. So because she has become this huge member of this community, this Bethesda Skyrim community or whatever, some people made a mod to the game where you can have Grandma Shirley come with you, be a follower on adventures with you, and go through
That's
dungeons with you.
awesome.
And it's actually voice acted by her.
That's
No, what?
awesome.
Yes, she's actually a voice actor for the mod that they created for her game. And you can watch her play the mod on YouTube. And she's literally sitting there voicing her character because she's role playing a character that's her granddaughter. I know this gets weird. It gets
Okay.
weird. But she's role playing another character
Yeah.
because you can't be Grandma Shirley, but you can go
Right.
visit Grandma Shirley's house. And she has this underground guard, and like you said, these chests and store cases and all these books that were put in there based on her past adventures that she's played through, based on her gameplay.
That's incredible.
All of these
That is awesome.
Easter eggs and things from her stories.
Wow.
I know, it was so cool.
Well, I'm downloading this mod. I know what
Right?
I'm doing tonight.
Yeah.
Oh God, Tony,
Play some
I'm gonna
Scrim.
kill you. I'm
no,
gonna kill you.
no. I think it's awesome, and I want to experience it.
No, I know it was really cool. I think the height of it, though, for me, was just listening to her play. Oh, hey, Grandma Shirley, I didn't know you had that. And she's sitting there going through it as the character, but you can tell she's having a lot of fun with it because it's based on her past gameplays and her stories that she's created within the game. And so people love her so much that 50,000 people signed a petition that Bethesda has accepted to put her in the Elder Scrolls 6 as an NPC.
Yes.
That is
And she has been
amazing.
scanned in and
Yes.
everything. And there's video of her getting scanned in.
I've got chills.
I
Like, that's just
know.
like,
That-
that's
that-
incredible.
That's
So she will-
literally one of the coolest things I've ever heard.
She will be immortalized in the Elder Scrolls 6.
As she deserves so.
Exactly. And she already kind of is because of the mod, but that wasn't
Right.
in any official capacity.
Right.
But now she's been added to canon.
Right.
Yeah.
Now she will be a character in the Elder Scrolls universe.
So when's that one supposed to come out?
Oh, God.
great.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I want to visit Grandma's house now.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just also wondering, just for the sake of Elden Ring, like how long is it going to be before the next, Elder Scrolls game? Just so the Elden Ring can have time to just have the reign,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think they'll have plenty of time.
the reign of the ring.
And just the similar title, Elder, So she recently did have some health problems, and she's kind of forgotten a lot. I think it may have been some sort of stroke. I don't know, some of my business, but she's still making videos, just not really a whole lot of gaming videos because she actually did kind of forget how to play the game.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yes, it's hard, but Bethesda did send her this awesome care package, and she she did an unboxing and showed all the cool stuff that Bethesda gave her, and she was super excited. It was great to see her in good spirits, and she's hopeful and like kind of almost seemed excited to kind of revisit Skyrim almost as if for the first time. That is maybe a stretch. I'm kind of, what do you call that? Romanticizing it, and I don't really want to do that, but I don't know. She remains hopeful. She right now she's trying to remember how to even start the game itself. Like she can't even really remember how to start the game and load it and a new character and all that kind of
You're
stuff.
finally awake.
What's great is she could even go back and watch her own videos as well. I mean,
Exactly.
she has this library of all this fun she's had, and if she is having this, her memories are stored. They're stored for her to view.
Right.
Which is really cool that she's
And
kept.
plus, she
almost
has this kind of dedicated audience that could kind of help her
Oh,
remember
yeah.
and some things too.
There's so many people that would help her however she needed help
Yeah.
with that, which is really, really great.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I just thought it was really cool that not only she have her mod, she's going to be in the game, and that they would recognize her for what she's kind of meant to some of a good portion of the community.
oh yeah, I hope they at least get to her her character model to show her that even before the game comes out. For her to get this before anyone else, I think that would be so cool for her to be able to see that. Because honestly, I mean, being that age, in how we don't even have anything close to a release date for Elder Scrolls 6.
And already in not the greatest health, recovering, but
right.
still, I mean, you're 85.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
it's-
I want her to be able to experience that, if she doesn't make it to the game coming out, because who knows?
Yeah.
When
Well,
that'll
I'd
actually
say that they definitely showed her some stuff. I mean, like I said, she went to the studio and they scanned her face in, and they were showing how they were playing with her face.
Oh,
So I'm
cool.
sure she kind of got to look at the screens and see her face in the
Yeah.
3D modeling systems and stuff, but not walking around in the
Right.
in Tamriel. So
because it doesn't exist yet,
right, yeah.
at least there. That is so cool.
I know. So yeah, I highly recommend just with your coffee one morning, just pull up one of Skyrim Grandma's videos and just watch how she does it. It's really cool, and it's just adorable.
That is.
I'm a tea drinker in the morning, not coffee.
There you go. Whatever. I'm not
Yeah.
going to yuck your yum.
Okay, I'm just asking questions.
I love a good tea.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
That's Irish blend.
I also love a good TMNT.
Beautiful.
The Cowabunga Collection is coming to us very soon this year. There's not a release date just yet, but what is the Cowabunga Collection, Tiny?
I don't know, Mark Dane.
Okay.
What is the Cowabunga Collection?
It is 13 classic Ninja Turtle games from the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Game Boy, and arcade cabinets. 13 games spread out between all those different platforms. for the games.
Cowabunga it is.
Cowabunga it is. And it is it's collected by Konami, Nickelodeon, and a company called Digital Eclipse. Digital Eclipse they do like collections of classic games. Like that's kind of their niche, and they do it really well. So they're going in with Konami and Nickelodeon to collect all these old school games that you've not been able to play again, like if you don't have these old systems. So there's not really been any way to play them, and now they're all coming in one package for $40. You get 13 classic arcade style games, and 12 of them are just beat 'em ups. You know, like the side scrolling, just like classic. Just
Kill
you're a
all
Ninja
the
Turtle,
enemies.
Beat all the Foot Clan, and keep
See, those
working
are
your way
probably the
through.
ones I would be the most interested in, or whichever ones that used to be in Pizza Hut.
Yes, that's these.
Oh, like
Yes.
Turtles in Time.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
one that's in this collection, and that's one that everyone is so excited to play again. And it's going to be perfect for the Switch because like that handheld mode of that is going to be wonderful. And it's going to be available on Switch as well as PS4, PS5, both the Xboxes and PC. Like, so whatever you have, you can pretty much get this collection. And I think $40 for that many is a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
What's the last one that's not the arcade beat 'em up style?
That one is the just original like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's the title on I believe it was Nintendo, and the original Nintendo. And it's just an insanely difficult platformer game. And I think what I'd read somewhere was there was some version for like a computer, like an old computer, that the game had lowered the ceiling a little bit on this one portion where you had to make this jump, and it was impossible to make the jump because you could not.
Oh my!
You would hit the ceiling, like
God.
you could not make the jump. It was impossible.
Wow.
Just like the old games with what we talked about before, I think Aladdin and Lion King and stuff like that, which weren't impossible.
They just had invisible ledges. Like the ledges
And-
were there, but
yes.
they weren't existent.
And they were there for a reason, so that way you would keep playing it. But this wasn't like an arcade style one. Like this is one you just play at home. So like it was an accident when they made the game, and it was like impossible to beat it. So now people can replay that and beat it. Like, because a lot of these games, I never beat a Ninja Turtle game. I had plenty of them. Like I know I had a Game Boy one, and I know like Nintendo. I didn't have a Super Nintendo, but I don't know. I've played a bunch of them, and like you said, Pizza Hut, growing up, Turtles in Time. Like I have memories of these games, and now I get to relive them very soon, and it's very exciting.
I had a experience with a Ninja Turtles game when I was a child.
Okay.
See, my father one day come home from work. I'm probably 6 or 7 at this time because, well, my father passed away when I was 8 years old. And I'm outside in the yard, and he drags a kiddie pool out into the yard. And inside of the kiddie pool, he sits 4 turtles from I don't know where. And I named them all after Ninja Turtles, and we had games together for the like day that I had them. And I would pet them, and they would crawl around in circles like turtles are wont to do. And then we released them somewhere back into the wilds with like a D on the back of one for Donatello, so on and so forth. And they were in the proper colors because Dad had paint pens for whatever reason. That was my Ninja Turtles gaming experience.
Well, Tiny, look under your seat because it's also in the Cowabunga Collection.
You're 4 turtles!
They've been kicking ass ever since, bud.
You left
I
them in that
knew it.
sewer drain, and they found a thing of ooze.
I knew
And a
it.
rat man.
Cowabunga it is.
Yes.
But it's nothing nowhere like the show. This was not that kind of ooze.
Oh,
Also,
no.
just as a quick disclaimer, we did not do any cruel things. I didn't make them punch and kick each other.
That's very
Teen-
nice.
I just petted them and let them crawl
I
around.
wonder what was in that paint that you put on their shell.
Teenage Mutant
I mean, you can
White
still
Trash
buy the paint
Turtles.
pens.
So instead of ninjas, they're all white trash now because they grew up in the sewers of Tennessee.
Don't you dare call those turtles trash.
Well, that's
They
not,
are beautiful creatures created by God the Father
Explain
for
the-
us to enjoy, and you're calling them trash? Yeah.
with paint pen letters on their backs.
Hey, I put grass and at least a stick or two in there to recreate what they were used to. And also,
not tell
there
a
was
difference.
about an inch of water in the bottom.
And I put a slice of pizza under every single one, and they floated around on
And they were so happy.
My dog only chewed on them a little bit. I promise.
No, Spike would never have done that.
What's great about these games is they have save states, rewind, button mapping, and an online component for some of them.
Rewind.
Yeah. So like rewind, like if you fall down a hole or a sewer manhole thing, which is weird that could kill you because that's kind of where you go when you're a Ninja Turtle. But
Right,
anyway,
they would just slide.
you can rewind like to bring it back to before that had happened. So
Oh, cool.
I mean, they're cheaty ways of doing it. But if you don't want to do that, don't do it. Because some people are going to complain about it, like, "Oh, you're not a real gamer if you use rewind and save states in these old school arcade games." Shut up! Don't play it that way. If you don't want to play it that way, that's fine. It's okay. But the option is there, and that's really cool because it means I can burn through these 13 games.
I'm going to finally see that level that I never could because of that stupid ceiling.
I will finally approach Shredder without fear. There'll be a little fear and a little pee-pee, but just because he's scary.
You got to also fight Rocksteady and Bebop.
Oh, yeah, they'll be there too. I think the reason they're coming out with this now is, well, I know one reason they're coming out with it now is because a game called Shredder's Revenge is coming soon, which I'll talk about in a minute. But right now, these styles of games, like this more classic arcade style, lower quality graphics, but high quality gameplay, indies, like indie studio video games, are kind of more towards this line. I mean, yeah, some indies make some incredible looking games, but this more simplistic style of gaming is kind of a lot more popular now than it's been in a long time because people are getting tired of AAA just kind of either non-finished games, which a lot of AAA titles are now, to where when they sell it to you, you're like, well, hopefully we'll have a day one patch, because if not, we're going to play this thing for a month and then they're going to finally fix problems. Right, like Cyberpunk is finally playable, like completely now, pretty much.
Well, like 6 months later?
More like a year? I don't know, a year or two.
I don't know.
It's been out for time is weird now. Time doesn't really exist.
Time's a construct.
We're just turtles in time, and I don't know how to handle it. What was I talking about?
Ninja
Turtles in Time.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles, indie games. These are following that suit, and a lot of these indie games that are popular have kind of, I don't know, they've taken what they played when they were younger, and now they're making games that they enjoy, the art style or the gameplay style, and looking back at platformers and
It's almost like
simplistic
restoration. Like some people get into film restoration and things. I mean, I think it's cool. I mean, of course, once the industry's been around and the passion has been around for how many years now? I mean, 30, 40 years now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, of course, we're going to have people who are video game restorators or whatever.
Yes.
I don't know. I think it's really cool.
Well, that's what this company that's putting this together, Digital Eclipse, that's kind of what they do. They're doing this to where these games are going to look better on our screens, and they're going to play smoother, more than likely. And I don't know, it's just going to be a really
you
good
don't have
experience.
to take it out of your thing and blow on it or get all the dust out
in
of
a
it.
non-sexual manner, and then just play it
Blow, wiggle,
perfectly.
jiggle.
Exactly. It's also because you can't really find these systems easily and these games easily to play. I mean, yeah, if you want to go on eBay and try to find somebody selling their old Sega Genesis, sure, but you can't just go out and get a Genesis and get one of these old games. Like, they're becoming harder and harder to find. And a lot of times people turn to like pirating games to where they can play these ROMs of these games because they're like, I can't access this. Like, I can't buy this anywhere. So this is a good way to actually like sell the game legally, and you can play all of them. So, and probably the main reason that it is coming out is later this year. I think I mentioned it back earlier this year whenever I spoke about the upcoming games for 2022 that are supposed to be like really sought after and excited about. Shredder's Revenge is the newest Ninja Turtle game that'll be coming out in 2022, more than likely after Cowabunga Collection, because they haven't released exact dates for either of those yet. But why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you get everybody excited for the new one by sending out all the old ones first?
So is the new one kind of a more retro style game?
Yes, it is. I mean, it's a beat 'em up, side scrolling, like just like the old school ones, just like 12 of these 13 are, but smooth I mean, like frames per second, super high, like vivid colors, crisp.
They need to include something with that game if you bought the Cowabunga Collection, like an uploadable thing to where you've got a code, or and now you have unlocked this content.
That would be cool. That would be cool, because I mean they're definitely going to come out with DLC probably for it, because I know Splinter is going to be a playable character, and I think it was shown that April as well. And
April?
Splinter, April and Splinter and Casey Jones.
Yes, my man Casey Jones.
They haven't said it for sure, but they're pretty sure like Casey Jones will. I mean, if April's going to be a character, surely Casey's going to be a character.
Right. Now, is this going to have like the old school like 32-bit whatever graphics, or is this going to be like
it looks
stylized?
I think it would be so cool for it to be like 4K with all the 3D graphics and still be the side scroller thing.
It's more 32-bit style, but refined.
Cool.
It's weird. It's weird.
I mean,
it looks
I
old
still wanna see
school,
it.
but it looks new school. It's definitely not 3D realistic style graphics at all.
Much
it's
higher,
very cartoon.
Much higher frame rate.
Oh yeah,
because if they can do it in the style that they've done, like Dead Cells, to where it's a seamless, where you're going, then that would be just perfect for it, because that's that same style, barely more advanced in the graphic style.
Right.
And I think that'd be good to.
It's more detailed than Dead Cells is, but I do know what you're saying, to where you're using this lower fidelity like graphic, but make it run really, really smooth.
Yes,
and it takes less effort whenever you're doing that, and you can put more effort into other things in the game than whenever you've got your entire team trying to work on the graphics of it. And Splinter he's going to use his cane as his weapon. And they said he's not going to really be any slower than anybody, so I'm wondering how they're going to make him move compared to the others. But this is also a game I'm probably going to own. I haven't bought a Ninja Turtle game in ever, because I think my parents bought the last one that I actually played on my Game Boy.
I never owned one.
I don't think I have either.
I've always rented them or played them at the arcade.
That's not true. I did get a hand-me-down Super Nintendo when I was really, really young for Christmas one time, and all their games. Like they just didn't want any more.
Yeah,
and they just kind of gave it to my parents, who gave it to me for Christmas, and
Ninja,
it was one of the Ninja Turtle games.
Probably one of the movie games.
I find the older I get, the more I like Raphael. Whereas as a child, I'm like Leonardo, because he's the leader.
I always liked Raph better.
Yeah,
like
then
Raph was always my favorite.
Well, I mean, I realized that I'm full of anger too, because I'm almost a middle-aged, grown adult man. So now I'm like, I get it, Raph. I get it.
And I think
People
he was played really well in those movies that we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
The live action.
They were so good.
Not CGI ones. Yeah.
Yeah, they were so good.
Also liked Michelangelo a lot.
All three of them.
You can't dislike Michelangelo.
True.
I mean, a fellow chucker, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Just start whipping the tricks.
Yeah.
The jokester.
What was the Vanilla Ice song at the end of that?
Go ninja, go ninja, go. Go ninja, go ninja, go. Get the mean green with the turtle team.
Go Austin, go Austin, go.
Go us. Oh,
you know what? This is actually
sorry.
this is actually the perfect transition for my topic, because as trashy as Vanilla Ice was, it fits my topic so very well.
I don't know. Vanilla Ice's Going Amish was pretty trash.
So I've been watching a lot of a specific style of television here recently, and it's revolving around a television show called Dance Moms.
It sounds awful.
I can't be in the room. Like, I have to go to the office now. Like, the show makes me so angry that I have to leave.
And Dance Moms started in July of 2011, focusing around the Abby Lee Dance Studio and her dancers that she has in there, and all of the drama from their overly eccentric, well-to-do moms. It's insanity. It's absolute ridiculousness that these people even talk to each other that way. But you can't the thing is, they're not from where we are, because if people talk to each other that close and that aggressively where we are, people throw hands. But they don't do that there, because you barely touch one another and the police are there in a heartbeat.
And you're getting sued.
So it is absolutely ridiculous. And I just got to thinking while I'm laying on the couch, I'm just like, what have we become? Like,
they'll make a show out of anything now, won't they?
Well, like, and I'm sitting there, and it's like I'm on the couch, and I'm either sitting on the couch or I'm laying down. Somebody, I thought I was right. So I'm on the couch, and I'm watching this show, and I'm not really watching it. I'm scrolling most of the time. Then all of a sudden, I'm watching it, and I become slightly addicted to the drama. And that's what spurred the thought. Like, oh my, how we have fallen. Like, where did this start? Why is this a thing? And so, here's the rabbit hole, everybody.
You stay out of that rabbit.
We're starting at the bottom of it.
This actually started because this is reality television. And reality television started back in 1947.
What? On the radios?
I didn't know Survivor was that old.
It began on the radio first as Candid Microphone. But you know it best for the long-running television series from 1948 until 2014. You're on Candid Camera.
That same thing ran that long?
Smile, you're on Candid Camera. Yes, 1948 to 2014.
You know, for a long time, that one of my fears was to be caught on that show doing something, be it, scratching my regions in public.
Now that's the
or
thing.
Something.
That's the thing about Candid Camera that spurred off the next branch of the tree, which is going to be referred to as the tabloid talk show. The tabloid talk show took the parts of what you have on Candid Camera to where you get the surprise and the shock and the awe. And yeah, there was the funnies and the wholesomes that were along with it as well. But take that out and mainly focus on the trigger. Like, mainly focus on what can set you off. Mainly focus on what is the hot button topic, on what the hot button issue is. Something that's going to make the viewers just go, no, why are they? Well, no, surely they're not. That was when reality TV started to take a turn for the worse with the tabloid talk shows, because the tabloid talk shows began the first generation of trash TV.
Like The View?
No. Like,
that is a trash talk show.
It is pretty bad.
It is the worst.
I mean,
and it keeps getting worse.
I've seen it. I don't really think I've ever spent enough time to have a feeling about it, but I will take your word for it.
Or are you talking more like Maury Povich?
I'm talking about Jerry Springer.
Jerry.
I ain't the daddy. You the daddy. Daddy. Oh my God, you're a broom.
Fight.
Ricky Lake, Maury, Sally Jesse Raphael, Dr. Phil Donahue, and the Jenny Jones Show. All of those similar style, and even the Steve Wilcox Show, which you might not know the Steve Wilcox Show, but that's the most modern iteration of the Jerry Springer Show. It's where you've got Jerry's giant bald bouncer Steve, who now hosts a Jerry Springer style television show.
No, there's an even newer iteration.
Oh shit!
What?
Judge Jerry.
No, he's not.
Yes, it's going to be a judge style show with Jerry Springer doing Jerry Springer things. It's going to be Judge Jerry.
I don't know if I can agree with
I
this.
heard about this the other day, and I was like, what?
This style of I think I've always been like weak to cringe, because like these types of things, like even when I was younger, I've never liked this type of TV. I hate it so much.
Trash TV is defined as a genre of television, talk show with little educational content, and focus on controversy and confrontation. So what you have here, though, is just the initial recipe for everything, because you take that drama and you take that you're sleeping with my sister, you're taking that, oh, you are my long lost brother.
I am your sister.
You're my long lost brother, but he's our child. Just you get as Tiny had previously stated in an older episode of like in Maury, is she hot or is she Scott? That absolutely broke me. You get into this, this recipe, this well-working concoction that they have brewed up that is now selling like crazy. But honestly, though, with all of this kind of popping off like this and that recipe becoming really popular, people started seeing it like maybe there's an underlying thing. Maybe it's an art style, and the art community bounced back like, no, you're vastly mistaken. This is not artistic in any way. What you're thinking of is something called kitsch. And kitsch is something that is done intentionally bad to express the artistic creativity behind it, such as something like A Friend in Need, which is a very popular like dog sitting around the poker table picture.
Yeah.
It was made as a modern kitsch iteration. It was made in 1903. But it was kind of a design over like, oh, this is something that people would see as, like second class, like, oh, they're just a bunch of dogs. And they made it that way on purpose to express the artistic creativity behind it. Jerry Springer and Maury Povich, all that was not kitsch.
This is throwing trash in the air and seeing how many people just look up with their mouths open trying to catch it.
What about the Steve Harvey show?
Steve Harvey show.
We cannot bash that man's
Steve
name.
Harvey show is not that. It actually has some educational value to it, so it escapes the definition.
I was wanting to make sure because me and my boy Steve, I named a truck after him in a video game. It can't be that.
Oh, hell no!
Yeah. 'Cause Steve Harvey's a truck.
Because you think
take that however you want.
You think you've reached your pinnacle of trashiness and awful things you'll see on television, but then somebody from the audience of the Jerry Springer show throws a thunderstone at Jerry Springer and it hits him smack dab in the forehead.
And he evolved?
From that crevice, by God, Jerry Springer's evolving into early 2000s reality TV. And that's
not wrong.
And that's where television took a turn for the worst, because you have people living in heavy quotations here. I'm giving it the bunny ears. Real life.
Yeah.
And it's not
Well,
just,
even Jerry Springer is fake.
I understand that.
What?
Yeah.
Actually, there's
Don't you talk about Judge Jerry Springer like that.
it is a mixed bag, because there were some people on Jerry Springer from my hometown.
Me too.
Where I grew up.
What?
And it was not far. Yeah, they're the people that used to live in the bus, and he used to get beat by her all the time. But she's like, oh, hell, he likes it. And then he's like, well, I do.
I didn't realize they were on there.
They were.
So you're
Wow.
saying for trash TV, Jerry's the father.
Jerry is. Yeah, and Maury's the uncle, though. So, but Maury was the one who did the reveal to tell that Jerry was
Well,
the father.
who's the mother?
Right.
Ricky Lake.
Ricky Lake.
Yeah.
Or Sally Jesse Raphael, but she seems more like the grandmother.
Hey, don't you talk about that woman? Well, her glasses are cool, or at least they was back in the day.
Huge glasses.
Yeah.
But the early 2000s, reality television, it brought out things that are still around and some things that are not, because as with everything, it needs to die. So, or something like that, whatever. So you've got shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, America's Next Top Model. You've got The Bachelor, Top Chef, The Osbournes, American Idol, The Bachelorette, the iteration of that. Yeah,
Married at First Sight.
that was probably on there too. Newlyweds, Nick and Jessica from the Nick what's his face, Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson being married.
90 Day Fiance.
But you had stuff that didn't last at all. That did not go well for a long time. I forgot one of them on here though, and I don't want to hold this in a negative place
The
because
Osbournes?
yeah, I like
Let's
them.
go!
Yeah, I love the Osbournes.
I love the Osbournes
because
too.
They were great.
I have a feeling even if that was scripted, like Ozzy can't. Ozzy's not-
Honestly, I would call it educational.
yeah, don't do drugs.
any of this. Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
You
oh,
will
no.
be like Ozzy.
No, don't.
And
do,
you don't want
And
that.
it's definitely not. Don't do drugs, because as we say, we're not here to yuck anybody's yums. Don't do this many drugs. This many.
Like Bert Kreischer says, if somebody offers you drugs, do half. But hold on. See, trash TV is disseminating itself into so much of our culture. Like, I found a woodworking channel on the YouTubes, which, I watch random things, and they were showing off this chainsaw. They had this huge long bar. It was like the most powerful chainsaw in the world. They're talking about the length of the bar, and they're like, "That's the size of a fully grown Khloe Kardashian." And then I unsubscribed based on that statement.
Yep.
Well, you know, the thing that gets me though is also Fear Factor is on this list, and I thoroughly enjoyed Fear Factor.
Fear Factor was great.
Yeah, and it's just something that it was also considered reality TV of the time.
It was a game
even
show.
though it was more of a reality.
If they
game
would have kept
show.
the eating, the nasty stuff out of it, I think they would have had a better reputation.
That was
going
one of my
forward.
favorite parts.
I know, but I think that's just where they get a lot of things because they made these poor people eat this stuff for money.
Then
I mean,
we
come
did
on.
it. Then
They
we did,
were not made. They could quit at any time.
I'm just saying that's why people criticize.
unlike
them.
my youth group that did Fear Factor night, and we ate gross stuff for God.
Jesus. Yeah.
we did that too.
That's different now. Now that I'll
you
give a pass.
You
You
had
had
one
one
too.
too. Did you ain't a price you could put on it?
I ate a white onion that was candied in that red crap that they put on apples.
Oh, I ate a live goldfish.
Oh my God!
For the Lord.
We didn't do animal cruelty.
For the Lord.
He demands goldfish sacrifices now. What the hell?
I don't know, but I didn't die from COVID. It's got to mean something.
Did you just like grab a goldfish out of the fish tank in the sanctuary and just swallow it?
So let's
Eating goldfish in the sanctuary. Sorry,
Did it give you diarrhea? Because I feel like it would.
I feel like my parents would have got mad at that.
there.
You come home and you're like, Mom, I ate a goldfish for Jesus last night. Do you realize how hard my mother would have punched me?
Now let's not forget good reality television shows that were also games, such as the Great British Baking Show.
Wonderful.
That show just makes you feel just awesome. Their biggest accomplishment that they get is when they get their freaking handshake, and that's very cool.
And they're all so kind to one another. Like,
What can I say? Like they don't. It's just so different the way British TV does their reality shows. Like the music. Like they don't try to like make it all dynamic with the crazy music. I don't know. It's just so different the way they portray it, and I prefer it much more.
And also, you had the Jersey Shore that influenced.
Gosh, I
That
The worst.
It influenced the entirety of American culture for a minute. It's where everything was studded jeans, affliction shirts, tanning, hair.
Snooki wrote a
See.
book.
Snatchy?
Snooki can't even read, and
Well,
she wrote
that's-
the
she
book.
paid someone to write a book and put her name on it.
Because obviously Snasty can't read. Also, my sister, who is now a new listener to the show, this segment is for you. I didn't realize this was going to be a segment. And by the way, all the shows you like suck because he mentioned every one of them.
And it was kind of a funny statement that this place that I was looking up some of these lists. I've got so many things pulled up on these, but it was a list on Distractify, and it was one of their top 20 lists for influential reality television shows that kind of changed the way that things are done and the way that things are, people just do things differently because of this reality television show. And it said a funny one here. It said for number 10 on their list was a quack quack, like we like the ducks, of the Dynasty variety, Duck Dynasty. For coastal liberals who still wonder how the 2016 election happened, we say the success of Duck Dynasty should have been a clue.
So I take it I'm the only one of the cast members here
Yes.
that actually enjoyed that show.
100%.
Actually, I did like Duck Dynasty a lot, but
Not me, sir.
I thought it was funny, but just because the way that they acted reminded me of the way a lot of my family members act.
Well, yeah,
and
absolutely.
And the cultural relativity of that, drew me into it. And then also I started growing a beard, and the amount of beard on that show was just awe-inspiring for a, sprouting beard connoisseur. But reality television is one of the final evolutions of trash television. And I don't know where we can go from here. I don't know if it's going to be a good thing that television has changed so much over the years and this has kept evolving. I think the only thing left is if the movie Idiocracy actually becomes true and we just have one-on-one bare-knuckle fist fights on the television now while you're screaming vulgarities at each other. Then eventually the American society can degrade into nobody even talks anymore without cussing at each other, and everybody's gonna eat just shitos for dinner out of a can.
Teen mom, the next generation. Now the babies are teen moms.
Now the babies are teens.
Teen grandma.
Pregnant babies. See, we all know that it's going to evolve to where people are just sitting on a couch with their face stuck in their phone because that's what this next generation is.
Oh, they already.
I work on a college campus. I've yet to see a student's face because it's buried in their effing cell phone while they're coming through to get my delicious food.
Do you know why it's buried in their phone? Because they're too busy on YouTube and Spotify looking up our podcast where they just listen to us, where we're very thankful, and how they can go on those platforms and they can give us 5 stars and they can tell people what they think about the show. And you can spend all the time you want in your phone as long as you're on there just spreading the good grape words. And then you can go to a Teespring link and you can also click it. And when you click it, you go to a place and you see us on clothing. And then you can wear us on your bodies as soon as you get a piece of that. Our good friend, the Grapevine Cowboy, the soft open was dedicated to him today. And he was the very first purchaser of any of our merch. And we thank him for it, which is amazing.
Can we give them a yeehaw?
I would love to.
And if you want to discuss exactly how many tributaries the Great Grape Vein needs to have going up our monument, get on Facebook,
Tributaries.
Instagram, and Twitter by looking up @Nerd Grapevine. Or you can get on Patreon and donate a little bit to the cause. And you can be like the Grapevine Cowboy, get some special shout-outs from the Nerd Boys, and also unlock future content that we haven't been able to let you listen to because it's been cut out, it's been spliced, it's been put into some funnies, and also some stuff that we've made that you haven't got to hear on the normal show. Go to Patreon @bestfriends, Tiny Inc. is where you will find us. Just, don't go listen to that stuff just out in public with your phone all loud and stuff because you're going to have some people look at you and you're going to cause them to have a little bit of...
My dream one day is for a man-sized turtle to come knock on my door, and when I answer the door, him go, "Father?" And he turns around, and there's a crudely drawn red R on the back of his shell that's faded and smeared, and I'll be like, "It's my boy. It's one of my boys." I'll be like, "How are you and your brothers?" And he's going to jump into Discord, and we're all going to become a family in the backyard bonanza. We have meme channels. We got a Mega Malcolm head. We got general chat. Sometimes we stream movies. And join us because we're on there live, uncut, uncensored, and fully circumcised. It's a great time. There's a link in the description. We'll take you right there.
And this comes at the time of the show where we ask that question that's been plaguing everyone's mind since last week. When life gives you grapes, Marcus.
Gosh, you stole my line. I never have to answer it because I'm the one that asked it.
Exactly. That's why he did it.
Now I don't have anything
now
to
you gotta
say.
answer it though.
Yeah,
you gotta
you
answer
do.
it.
You gotta
Answer
know
it.
what happens when life gives you grapes.
When life gives you grapes, what happens, Marcus?
Marcus.
You always
Marcus,
ask
what
us.
happens when life gives you grapes?
You carve a phallic symbol out of granite or something and make rules that everybody has to follow.
But what
and,
do you
and
do?
a light that comes out the pee-pee hole.
What about your grapes, though?
That sounds like a dumb idea.
Do you
It
just
does,
have your,
doesn't it?
Do you have your
Dumb.
grapes in your
Jesus.
squirrel pouch on your chest
What
the
are you
whole
going to do?
time?
Grow
Put 'em in the
vines-
booger
grow
hole. Put 'em in the
grapevines
booger
up
hole.
It's a booger corner, you